Erica Marshall. It was the morning of February 10, 2012. At a rehabilitation center for horses in Marion County, Florida, workers prepared for another day of treatments. The facility specialized in helping injured racehorses recover, using high-pressure oxygen chambers designed to speed up the healing process. Among the staff was Erica Marshall, a 28-year-old technician. Her coworkers described her as calm under pressure and meticulous in her work. She was the one they trusted to handle even the most complex procedures. That morning, a horse was placed inside one of the hyperbaric chambers. Erica stood just outside, monitoring the gauges and cameras as the pressure began to rise. It was a routine treatment, one she'd overseen countless times before. But something was different this time. Inside the chamber, the horse began to panic, thrashing and kicking at the walls. Its steel shoes struck the side of the chamber, and then the friction caused a spark. In an instant, the chamber erupted. A deafening explosion tore through the building, sending debris hundreds of feet into the air. Fire engulfed the room. Erica and a colleague standing nearby were thrown back by the blast. When the smoke cleared, the chamber was gone, reduced to twisted metal. The horse inside had been killed instantly. Erica was found near the control panel, gravely injured. Rescue crews tried desperately to save her, but the damage was too severe. She was pronounced dead at the scene. A single spark, a moment of chaos, and a life lost doing what she loved. Jose Melena. It was October 11th, 2012, a routine Thursday morning at the Bumblebee Foods plant in Santa Fe Springs, California. Workers were starting their shifts. The smell of fish filled the air as tuna cans moved down the line. Among them was Jose Melena, a 62-year-old maintenance worker and a father of 6. For more than a decade, he'd worked at the plant. Quiet, reliable, and respected everyone who knew him. That morning, Jose was assigned to load a massive industrial oven, one of the pressure cookers used to sterilize cans of tuna before packaging. Each one could reach temperatures of more than 270 degrees Fahrenheit. At around 6 a.m., Jose stepped inside one of the giant industrial ovens. It was a routine inspection, something he'd done countless times before, making sure the carts were aligned, the floor clean, and the machinery ready for the next load. While Jose was making his inspection, other workers, unaware he was inside, began loading the carts of tuna, drowning him with fish. After the workers loaded a new batch for sterilization, they sealed the heavy door and started the cycle, unknowingly locking Jose inside the oven. For nearly 2 hours, the ovens ran as usual. No one realized Jose was missing until later that morning when a supervisor went looking for him. When they opened the door, they found a horrifying scene. Jose Melena was unrecognizable. His body burned beyond recognition after being trapped inside a 35-foot-long pressure cooker exposed to extreme heat and pressure. The investigation that followed revealed devastating negligence. Safety checks that had been skipped, and no one confirmed his location before the machine was turned on. Bumblebee Foods was later fined millions, and the company's safety manager faced criminal charges for brutally killing a hard-working husband and father. Robert Williams. It was January 25, 1979, a quiet afternoon inside Ford's manufacturing plant in Flat Rock, Michigan. Among the workers was Robert Williams, a 25-year-old maintenance technician. He worked closely with the automated systems that kept the plant running. Machines designed to lift, store, and retrieve thousands of parts with mechanical precision. That day, one of the inventory machines malfunctioned, leaving the computer unable to track parts properly. Robert was sent up to the storage racks to retrieve the components manually, a simple task, or so it seemed. But above him, a massive 1-ton industrial robot was still active, quietly moving through its programmed motions. As Williams climbed into the shelving area, the robot's arm swung forward to retrieve a part, a move calculated to the millisecond. He never saw it coming. The 1-ton metal arm struck him in the head with full force, shattering his skull and killing him instantly. For hours, no one knew what had happened. His body was later found by coworkers, with his arms and legs hanging from the shelf, his head mutilated and crushed. Robert Williams became the first recorded person in history to be killed by a robot. An ordinary day turned to tragedy. One unlucky moment in the wrong place at the wrong time cost him his life. Garry Hoy. It was July 9th, 1993, a warm summer evening on Bay Street, the heart of Toronto's financial district. Inside the Toronto Dominion Centre, a group of law students were touring one of the city's most prestigious firms, Holden Day Wilson. Within the firm was a 38-year-old partner named Garry Hoy, a respected lawyer, sharp-minded, and known for his quirky sense of humor. He had worked there for 3 years, specializing in corporate law and winning countless cases. But what made him stand out wasn't his resume, it was a unique demonstration he loved to perform. Whenever visitors toured the office, Hoy liked to prove how strong the building's windows were. He would throw his full weight against the glass to show it couldn't break. He'd done it countless times before, and each time, the glass held firm. But today would be different. That evening, as a group of students gathered near the 24th floor conference room, Garry decided to show the trick again. Smiling, he took a few steps back, sprinted forward, and slammed into the glass wall. It didn't break. The students laughed nervously. Then he did it again. This time, slamming himself on the glass even harder. The glass didn't shatter, but it popped out of its frame. In an instant, Garry Hoy fell 24 stories to the courtyard below. The room went silent. Shock turned to screams. Security and paramedics rushed in, but there was nothing they could do. Garry Hoy was splattered all over the pavement on the streets of downtown Toronto. The story made international headlines. A tragedy as bizarre as it was preventable. Engineers later confirmed that the glass had indeed been unbreakable, but the frame wasn't. To this day, people still walk past that building, remembering the lawyer who trusted the glass more than anything else. Jimi Heselden. It was the morning of September 26, 2010. The air was cool and quiet in the Yorkshire countryside of northern England. On a narrow path overlooking the River Wharf, Jimi Heselden set out for a test ride on his newest invention, the Segway. The Segway wasn't just any scooter. It was a self-balancing machine that used the rider's body weight to move, designed to revolutionize transportation. Jimi rode the off-road model that morning, testing it along the rugged terrain near his estate. Friends said he loved showing off how stable and quick it was, even on steep ground. He rode along the winding trails near his home, familiar paths he'd ridden countless times before. The trail eventually curved toward the edge of a cliff, a 30-foot drop to the river below. He leaned forward, guiding the Segway along the path, but near the turn, something went wrong. The tires slipped. The scooter started accelerating without control. In an instant, both Jimi and the Segway plunged over the edge at over 30 miles per hour. When paramedics arrived, they were met with a horrific scene. Jimi's body had been shattered into pieces. The paramedics tried to save him, but unfortunately, Jimi was pronounced dead at the scene. He was 62. News spread quickly across the world. The man who owned Segway had died riding one. To some, it sounded like dark irony, but to others, it was a tragedy that overshadowed a life built on innovation.